Must be kicking yourself for not walking out when you could. Bad judgment. But don't you worry, son. It will all be over soon.
Anthony, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H. Jose.
Bobby, it's me, your daddy, Roberto. Daddy?
Occasionally, you may hear it pronounced as Joao. It depends.
It's called Rex Kwando.
Look at me now. How far we go back? Elementary, jump rope, hide and go see, pity pat, red light, green light, red light, green light.
Hello? You play to win the game.
You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
Wednesday night, just past 9 p.m. Same old thing. You already know what it is. Jose V coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. I am your host, or one part of the host here on Gorilla Cross Radio, Straight Bet Sports. Ian B in the studio with me as well. Quan59 behind the big board doing what he does for us every single Wednesday night. And, of course, what he does every single night here on Gorilla Cross Radio. He is the man. You already know that. If you're chimed in and you're tuning in and you're watching this live, do us a favor as you do every single Wednesday night. Just press that like button. Press that share button. Drop a comment. Let us know what you want to talk about, or just chime in on what we're talking about. If you want to give us a call, 702-608-3259. We are live on all Gorilla Cross platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, for you to enjoy. And, of course, the Gorilla Cross app. If you have an iPhone, download it from the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, Google Play Store, simple as that. Search Gorilla Cross. You can find the app on all major platforms. Watch us there, watch us here, watch us everywhere, straight up, right? But, Ian, we got a good night tonight, man. We got a good show coming up in a few minutes here.
Sir.
We have a great guest, a return guest. I mean, the guy's a normal, a regular here on the show. You know what I mean? We haven't had him in studio for a while, but hopefully we can do so. It's cold, man. I got my jacket on today. I'm like, I got my UNLV beanie in the car. I should have wore it. Big shout out to my son, man. I'm going to start off the show like this. My 5-year-old son, Jordan Volonte. Love you, papas. He had his Christmas concert tonight. He got to sing. Got a little shy. He was just moving around. Didn't really want to sing too much. But, you know, those are kids, man. They get shy. But it makes me feel good because if you guys know me, I got 4 kids. And I didn't get to raise all of them because 2 of them living with my ex-wife. Separation, you know, different things there. But with him, I've had him since my wife was pregnant, since he's been born, taking him to school, everything starting. So it's been a whole different experience for me. You know what I mean? Having him there. Holidays are here, man. Christmas is right around the corner, bro, next week. I know you're excited.
Yeah.
You got your little ones and everything with the wife, too. I know Quan's excited to hang out with his family. We got the show 2 days before Christmas, which is funny. We're doing the show. We'll be here, definitely. But great show tonight, man. Lots to talk about. Urban Meyer in the news again. My old friend, Urban. If you guys know me, you guys know how much I love Urban Meyer. So we're going to have a fun time chatting about that.
He's your favorite person, is he
Oh,
not?
my God. That guy is the best. Urban Meyer is the best, baby. We're going to talk about that guy.
He's media's favorite person.
Oh,
Headline after
not?
headline, man.
Headline after headline. But we have a lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, that. Some NFL talk for you. Some other stuff that Ian has brought up for us tonight to talk about. But the headline, which is the headline right now, if you're a sports bettor, a sports handicapper, whether it's in Las Vegas, whether it's in New York, East Coast, West Coast, wherever it may be, and you're not following our guest tonight and our very, very good friend, Duane Colucci from Rampart Race and Sportsbook, the manager there, the guy, then you missed out on a 14-0 week against the spread in the NFL. That's how we're going to bring this guy in tonight. Duane, my man.
Extremely rare
Mr.
for everyone
14-0.
listening. Extremely rare.
Mr. 14-0. How are you doing tonight, my man? Oh, unmute the mic. Unmute the mic. There we go.
That's right.
There we go, my
There
man.
we go.
I'm not using my normal computer, so I'm a little out of whack. But I'm feeling great, guys. I mean, how could I not after that perfect week? I mean, unheard of. I don't think I could duplicate it, I'll be honest with you. A lot of things fell into place late on some of those games. I mean, we saw how the Cincinnati-San Francisco game was close. Baltimore started to rally late in that game against Cleveland. So, the Rams, I felt really strong about, believe it or not, going into the last game. I really thought it was a nice spot for the Rams to bounce back, especially with McVay being 8-1 in his career against Arizona. And no discredit. I mean, Arizona really brought a tight game.
Yeah.
But once the second half started and you saw the Rams take that momentum, I was feeling good. And, now I'm in first place in the battle of the bookies in the gaming today, and a nice cash prize there, which I'm definitely looking to grab with 3-4 weeks to go. And it's going to be difficult. I mean, I'm looking at this week's schedule, and it's real difficult, guys. There's no easy weeks in the NFL. I will say that last week the public did very well. Beat us pretty good at the Rampart and the South Point. So it was, I don't want to say an easier week because it's so hard to say that, guys, when you're handicapping the NFL.
Yeah.
But, a lot of things fell into place, and you could see there were a lot of mismatches that you felt strong about. Jose, I hate to beat up on your Jets, but New Orleans really runs the ball very well, and the Jets are, very susceptible to the run. So that was a pretty good matchup. Then you had the lopsided matchups that just played out. Tom Brady got the job done once again. And, I was able to get by the difficult matchups and succeed. So 14-0, I'm feeling really proud of that.
So before we talk more about this, for the people that don't know, it's a Gaming Today thing. The bookies have to do it. They're part of it. And not only that, I posted it on Facebook and Twitter. If you look at the lines that are on here, some of these lines are different. So a lot of people are probably wondering, wait, those lines weren't there on Sunday, or this isn't. I believe you guys get these either Monday or Tuesday, right, Duane? So you got to bet. You got to choose it way ahead of time.
Lines are made Tuesday. You're right. That's correct. And you don't this year have to put it in until Thursday, until right before kickoff of the Thursday night game. But it does include the Thursday night game. It does include the Monday night game. And you are picking against the spread. So sometimes it works in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. I've learned my lesson quite a few times. Earlier on in the season, picking these games that, sometimes guys come down with COVID, and even that Ram game, with Ramsey sitting and a lot of the other guys, Henderson, that was a question mark. Yeah. So it works both ways, guys. And, picking, I'm proud that I'm picking 59% against the spread this year. I'm really putting my nose to the grindstone, especially the last couple of weeks. I've really tried to step it up and elevate my play. We also have to beat the bookie at the Rampart Casino, which I actually am doing better against the spread than straight up. It's hilarious. I mean, I got to say, I picked the Ravens straight up and beat the bookie, so that's a loser, whereas getting the 2.5 points, I win that game in the battle of the bookies. So, things are falling into place this year. We talk about it all the time, Jose, Ian. We've been talking about it for weeks. We pick these games, and, you guys as well. We're trying to be professional and as professional professional as possible, especially me being in the industry. And it's so hard to, want to flaunt your picks, because if the public does start to turn around and bet them at your shop, then, I have to answer for liability, which, let me be honest, guys, from my side of the counter, and, I love to speak about that. We got crushed, both Sunday and Monday.
Really?
You have all that liability running into the Monday night game because there were so many parlays and so many teasers hooked to both sides. So it actually becomes a four-way losing proposition for the bookmakers. And it was a tough weekend, definitely one of the worst weekends we've had this year.
You mentioned with COVID being one of the struggles with that players coming down and stuff. I did have a question. Like, for instance, there are rumors that maybe the Washington football game, because they have so many players out with COVID, that they might have to postpone or forfeit the game. How does that work? When you bet on games that either get pushed or forfeited, do they just end up acting like a push, basically? Like you go back in, you get your money, or how does that work?
Yeah, Ian, we'll refund those games on the singular game basis. But what becomes bad is that we did post that for the season win totals, every team had to complete their full 18-game, the 18 weeks, but the full schedule. And if you do miss a game during COVID, that does count as a refund, because we are not going to count that game. So, it only comes into the longer end of season plays, win totals, and stuff like that. But, it's a difficult situation. I think the NFL is going to try and play through it, Ian. I got to be honest with you. Now it's up to nearly 100 players, but we're seeing other sports have worse outbreaks. The NHL is physically canceling games, whereas I think the NFL, with the practice squads and all that, they're going to try and push forward and make these guys play. So, there's some teams. We're looking at the Cleveland Browns with 11 starters. Yeah. Like you said, Washington, Baker Mayfield has tested positive. Yeah. Then you have the Rams, who have about, 12 players. This becomes a problem from the bookmakers' standpoint, because if they shut these sports down, then, I have to rely on the horse racing, and it's a difficult nut without NBA, NHL. And they're talking about the NHL, where, the Canada sanctions and all that could possibly shut it down. And our handle has been off the hook. You see my hat. The Vegas Golden Knights are starting to play at a peak level right now. And to bring that down and to, affect basically all of Las Vegas, not only from the gambling standpoint, but also the team motivational standpoint, it's so difficult. So, we keep our eye on this COVID, Ian. It's, but this new virus, strain of the virus, I got to say, it seems like a 2 or 3 day thing. Yeah. And, I think they're definitely going to try and give these guys these multiple tests real quick. And, I've seen now this play out, and with this COVID, it just seems weird to me, guys, that all of a sudden everything is COVID now. You have to understand, it's like the flu and the common cold have disappeared. And this strain, to me, it seems like it's a little less than the Delta. So I'm going to take this and hope that the NFL could succeed, push forward, and we don't have to refund bets or cancel any of these games. But, on the college, that's a little different. They're going to be a little more strict, because this is, our children. Like Jose said, you're so proud to be a dad. You as well, Ian. I'm sure you have kids. It's just the protection of the kids and the family is what comes first, as opposed to an athlete that's like Kyrie Irving, who's choosing not to, take the vaccine and sit the season out. They're adults. They make their own decision. Whereas when we're dealing with the kids, and even when they're still in college, it's a very difficult situation to handle. And I would anticipate the colleges canceling games if there's COVID outbreaks quicker than the pro.
So talking about the betting, talking about the numbers, this relates to Duane's 14-0 spread this week. So you talked about, sorry about the Jets. You took the Saints. It's okay. I had the Saints minus 4.5. I also had your Cowboys at minus 6.5, so they barely covered on a 2-teamer. But I messed around and did the stupidity of doing a 13-team teaser, and I lost by 1 because I took the Jets plus 10. So I'm sitting there going, if I took the Saints minus 4.5, why wouldn't I take the Saints the opposite way, getting some points, right? So I kicked myself in the butt there. So I'm going to the Monday night game, Duane, and you actually changed my mind. I liked Arizona in this game. I saw that you were 13-0 going into this game. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay away from it. I don't like the Rams, but I trust Duane enough that I'm gonna stay away from the Cardinals. So I end up taking the Cardinals over 21.5 team total, right? I'm sitting there going, they're down 10, a minute 35. I'm like, there's no way this game is over. They're going to try to go for a touchdown, right? So if you guys saw the end of the game, Kyler Murray gets sacked, 4th and 15. I'm sitting there going, game's over. There's no way this guy's going to try to kick a field goal, right? I see them run the field goal unit in there and kick a field goal. I'm running around at work. My boss is like, what happened? I'm like, the Cardinals kicked a field goal. I just hit my ticket. And it was like, I was like, thank you, Duane. Thank you for not telling me to take the Cardinals. You know what I mean? And then I was sitting there going,
feeling in the
world, bro, it's amazing.
Win like that.
Oh, dude, it was. I'm sitting there going. And earlier in the game, there was like 6 minutes in the game, and they're down 10, and they go for it on 4th and 1 in the red zone instead of kicking a field goal. I'm sitting there going, why? You're down 2 scores regardless. You need a field goal. You need a touchdown. 6 minutes. Why would you go for it? And so that's why at the end of the game, I'm sitting there going, there's no way they're going to go for a field goal now. So, Duane, thank you so much for going 14-0 and picking the Rams and making me go away from the Cardinals, because if it is, I would have not bet the team total, and I would have just lost that. But I also had the team total on the Bucks, and they had to freaking get that touchdown at the end. It was good. There's a lot of different games that came out. I'm liking the team totals. There's a lot of different bets that you can do there, but it's just fun, man. But another thing I had to say too, Duane, I want to say thank you to you, my man. I went to go see you last week. For those of you that do not know, go check out Duane at Rampart, man. I went to the deli. No, it wasn't the deli. It was the
cafe.
The cafe.
The Earl Grey cafe.
Dude,
yes.
The sandwich, the Golden Knight Stacker or whatever it was. There's like a Golden Knight themed sandwich that they have. It's like a club type sandwich, bro. Amazing. If you guys haven't gone, you have to go check out Duane, man. Trust me. The food over there at Rampart is good. The hospitality is amazing. The book is awesome. And if you're in the book, go say hi to Pops. Michael Colucci's always in the book, baby. You can always say hi to him. If you don't know anything about horses, ask him his tip, man. The guy knows what's up. But Duane, before we let you go, my man, because we wanted to have you on to talk about this amazing streak that you had, can you let us know what you got for next week already, or does that stay confidential until the Gaming Today comes out?
I can't play my hand. The competition is getting crazy.
How about this? Can you give us at least a hot pick of the week?
Yeah, give us at least a hot pick, at least one. Can you give us that?
I got to be honest. I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to go against a lot of people, but I'm not so sure that I'm going. Let me correct that, against a lot of people. I like the Chiefs in this Charger matchup early on, this week. I'm going to take the Chiefs probably, in the battle, the bookie battle. So already they have an advantage because they know I'm going to play this game. I think the Chiefs are just firing on all cylinders. And not that Justin Herbert isn't, but the Chiefs are really elevating their level, especially on the defensive side of the ball. There wasn't much of a test last week. It was pretty much of a whitewash against the Las Vegas Raiders. So I think they'll be riding high. I think they really want to go in as the number 1 seed. You have also that big matchup of New England and the Colts. So that's definitely got to play itself out. There's some great matchups this week. I don't believe that the card is nowhere as near as easy as it was last week. And keep in mind, like you were saying, Urban Meyer, Jacksonville, are they favorites? My man. It's going to be a difficult week. I'm definitely looking at that game. The Browns and Ravens, that's an intriguing game because now you're looking at all this COVID possibilities and Baker Mayfield not playing. Yeah. So, that's definitely a game to keep your eye on. I think the Bills, I'm looking over the schedule here, I think they definitely have to prove a point. So there's a lot of pressure on that team. But as for the point spread, I have to calculate, look at who's going to be healthy. They're saying that Allen is banged up a little. We have a lot of people on the injury report. Mac Jones popped up on the injury report, not his throwing hand, but his opposite hand. So, you also have the COVID, like we said, with the Rams and all that. A lot of parity, but I'm going to take the Chiefs in that first game. So I'll give you guys a pick right there. Jose, you can hit me up. I'll give them to you off the air. I just know too many people are watching your great broadcast here, and especially on Gorilla Cross. I know people are watching this, so I can't reveal and play my hand too much. I got to keep my poker face going.
It's all right, bro. I already got you on speed dial. Right after the show, I got you. But Duane, man, appreciate you coming on for a few minutes, man. Say hi to Pops for me. But before we let you go, let everyone know where they can find the podcast and where they can find you, my man.
Yeah, there's a new cast coming out this week, actually. I'm glad you mentioned that, the FM Reverse podcast. We're going to go over the holiday season, go over a lot of these bowl games as well. I want to talk about, as well as my techniques with the NFL and, how we're booking facing the COVID, what Chris Andrews and Jimmy Vaccaro and us at the Rampart, what we're doing to, try and overcome this. We're putting up a lot more propositions, if you hadn't noticed. So I'll be talking about that on the FM Reverse podcast. Also at NYBookie Duane on Twitter, available on Facebook, Instagram, easy to find. Mostly on Twitter, though. Jose will tell you that, at NYBookie, DUANE. And definitely the podcast will be out later this week. We're going to be discussing horse racing stuff like I always do, NFL, college football. And like Jose said, we got fabulous food at the Rampart right now. We have one of the only buffets in Summerlin, in the casino, actually the only buffet. And you had to see that line on Thanksgiving. It was just ridiculous. We got Christmas specials. We got parlay cards. We got daily props going up now through the South Point. The affiliation is just firing on all cylinders. And, come on out and see us. They got a lot of our money last week. I'm hoping to get some back this week, though. I'm going to have to answer to my bosses.
Well, we'll see how it goes, man, because tomorrow's going to be tough. Lots of money on the Chiefs. So I know the books need the Chargers, but we'll see how it goes, Duane. Duane, my man, again, we appreciate you, brother. If I don't talk to you before Christmas, which I know I probably will, happy holidays to you and your family. You know that. Again, say hi to Pops for me. Probably see you out of the game soon as well.
Yes, definitely, Jose. And thank you so much for all the exposure. You guys do a great job. Quan, thank you as well. Love being on this show. It's just such a pleasure. And to, stream out, to get all to, to touch every crowd. And that's what this, definitely this station and what this particular show does. And I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you as well.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming.
Always, my man. Take care. Have a great night. And we'll see you out there soon.
Thank you.
Duane Colucci, Rampart Racing Sportsbook manager, good friend of mine. I've known Duane, we're 2021. I've known Duane about 13 years, give or take. We separated a bit for a while, because we weren't working in the same spot anymore. But when I found out he was still in the book and I went to the book one day and started talking to him, bro, we clicked ever since. The fact that I was doing the show and he's in sports still and we talk sports betting just worked out, man. But fun stuff there. Go check out Duane, NYBookie. Duane, awesome name too, bro. If you're a bookie, NY New York bookie, that's awesome. But if you guys know Duane's background, big time bettor, horse bettor from New York, originally did the races, all that stuff out there. So a lot of his podcast is horse racing, majority of it, but it's also talking about sports and all that. So if you're a person that wants to bet horses or is interested in it, check him out, man. If and Reverse podcast on all major platforms. Hopefully we get him into the studio soon, right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Get him here on Gorilla Cross. But let's talk some more stuff here real quick. We got a lot of things to talk about. Oh, we got it. What's up? Oh, that's right. Let's go ahead and throw our sponsor out there. Sorry, I appreciate Quan for reminding me, because if not, I would have forgot. But yeah, we do have another sponsor. Obviously, the sponsor ad here. So we'll go ahead and throw that out there, let people know who's bringing us here on Gorilla Cross Radio. We are brought to you by Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, a realtor here to help educate current and future Las Vegas locals on selling and investing in real estate. You're probably asking yourself, educate. Yes, there's a surprising amount of adults that when it comes to real estate, don't know the right questions to ask, don't know where to start, and think they need a lot of cash to buy a house in Nevada, which simply isn't true. So Josh has decided to make it his responsibility to teach his clients what they need to know, and equally important, what they need to ask to help ensure making their home ownership dreams a true reality. So make sure you call or text Joshua LaFon today at 702-813-0533. This has been another paid advertisement from Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. Make sure you give him a call, 702-813-0533. That's right, Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, bringing us to you live here every single week, as he has been for the last year and a half. We greatly appreciate the sponsorship that we have with Josh. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be live here on Gorilla Cross, so we greatly appreciate him and what he does for us. We also have another sponsor, but we'll let you know who that is here shortly when we get into our next topics down the road. But, Ian, still got a whole half a show to go. Great guest, which was cool. We have fun, easy, quick, but we got a lot out of him, which was awesome, man. 14-0 against the spread. I still can't believe that. Crazy stuff.
Very knowledgeable guys.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you go and follow him.
So if anyone wants to talk about or chime in what we're about to talk about, give us a call, 702-608-3259. Now, the reason I say that, because We're going to talk about my buddy, my pal, Urban Meyer. Now, if you guys already know what happened, tensions are boiling over between Coach Urban Meyer, Jaguars, players, and staff coaches.
Nothing
within that organization,
Nothing
right?
new.
Now, before I got here, I decided to do some research and pull up a lot of things, right? In the past 2 months alone, there has been numerous incidents, right? You have veteran receiver Marvin Jones, which is loved and respected in almost every locker room he's ever been in.
They had a shouting match, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He took off, and coaches had to call him to come back to practice, and then they had a shouting match, right? That's one.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde gets put in over James Robinson when Bernie Parmalee was trying to bring him in, one of the running backs coaches, but yet Urban's like, no. Oh, but yet Carlos Hyde is a guy he got at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Then,
and Lawrence even said that he wanted James Robinson in there because he understands the offense needs to run through the ball.
Lawrence makes them a better team. Lawrence makes them a better team overall on the offensive side of the ball, and he is their best player. And Lawrence knows that. Lawrence being the guy that's supposed to be the guy, and he's not right now, and I don't blame him. He's a rookie quarterback. I didn't expect him to come out and kill it. But he understands as a leader, James Robinson is our guy. But enough about the players and who should be playing and who shouldn't, right? This guy is a complete piece of garbage, okay? And I said it before the season started. I said it was going to be a circus act. I said it was going to be a complete show, and it has been, right?
Yeah,
it has been.
One thing after another, just snowball of
first
drama.
The whole thing with him, with the girl and his lap dance and this and that. Then him getting into it with his coaches. Then him talking about, you guys, what's up with your resumes and this and that. Bro, you're the guy that hired these guys. We had this conversation. You posted it on Twitter, I believe. If you're the guy that hired them, didn't you check these resumes?
Exactly.
How are you going to throw that out there? You're contradicting yourself at that point.
Not to mention, a lot of his hires, he even had backlash on. So it's not like he didn't know what was going to happen with these guys. Like, I don't know. Like you said, it's just one thing after another. This guy has no rapport with his players. He has no rapport with the media. He's just crashing and burning that organization. To be honest, the fact that Jim Caldwell doesn't have a job in the NFL as a head coach and Urban Meyer does pisses me off.
I agree, bro. I agree with you. Jim Caldwell should have a job over Urban Meyer 100%. 100%. I'm not saying Jim Caldwell's going to win anything anytime soon. But if we're talking about who deserves the job right now overall, Jim Caldwell by far, bro, deserves to have an NFL job right now.
There are Hall of Fame quarterbacks that have had their best season with Jim Caldwell. I don't understand why teams are so hesitant to hire him. But I like Caldwell. I've liked Caldwell for a couple years now. I actually was advocating for my team to look at him a little bit more. They didn't, but he needs a job in the NFL. Urban Meyer needs a job nowhere. I mean, he needs a McDonald's job, if that.
So look, back in October, Khan, the owner of the Jaguar, told Ian Rappaport of NFL Network after their first win, right, that he had absolutely has faith in Urban Meyer, and he expanded it in a lot of videos, right, that were posted out there. He also said, I think this is NFL football. You're on stage all the time, and you have to absolutely be self-aware. I agree. Your coach hasn't done that.
No.
Your coach has made your organization. He has also made you look like an absolute clown and has painted makeup on your face. Because after that incident at the bar when he should have took off with his team after losing, you came out in his defense and said you feel his remorse. You feel that he's genuine. The guy's not remorseful. The guy's not genuine because it's still happening, bro.
He even said that he had to rebuild Khan's trust, right? And what has Urban Meyer done since that incident to rebuild? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Get this guy out of here. He doesn't deserve an NFL job. He really doesn't. He doesn't know how to handle the media. He doesn't know how to handle himself. Like, get him out here. The players don't respect you. Like, once the players don't respect you, there's nothing else you can do.
It's over at that point.
Yeah, it's over at that point. Like, once you've lost the locker room, get them out here because someone else is going to be able to get that locker room back and do a better job. No matter what coaching prowess you might think that the player or the coach has, if they're not able to connect with their players and actually have a rapport with them, then there's nothing we're talking about. Like, they need to be out of the NFL. They can't have a job like that because you have 53 guys on your active roster. All of these guys are under 35 for the most part in most rosters, right? Like, you have to have that respect. These are grown men you're dealing with. You can't treat them like little kids. And it seems like he thinks these guys are still 18 years old coming out of college, and he can't do that.
That's why a lot of these college coaches aren't built for the NFL.
They're not.
Bro. And it's not that some of them don't know how to treat or react towards players, but we're seeing that in Urban Meyer. Yeah. And the thing is, are you really surprised?
No.
I mean, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you're surprised that he's treating them like college kids or treating them like kids. Are you even surprised that we're talking about issues with Urban Meyer? No. I said it before the season, bro, and I will continue to say it. Urban Meyer will not succeed in the NFL. Urban Meyer does not deserve to have a job in the NFL. And I do feel bad for Trevor Lawrence because the kid is a generational talent, and he should have better coaches around him. I'm not saying he's going to be the next. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Joe Montana or the next Dan Marino or anything like that. Yeah. But we know he's an NFL quarterback.
He is an NFL quarterback.
He's an NFL quarterback, and under the right situation, under the right coaching scheme, under the right coach, he can win games.
You need to get him in with someone that's able to develop him before it's too late.
You're hurting his career already before it even starts. That's the problem.
Because once you let a quarterback, even no matter how talented they are, once you get them into expecting of themselves really bad habits, right? Once they start letting these bad habits seep in, it's really hard to correct that. And you're doing a disservice to Trevor Lawrence. You're doing a disservice to that team. And you're also doing a disservice to whoever's the next coach, because now they have to go in and fix all these little details, all these little bad habits that they picked up under your watch. And that's not acceptable. Like, this guy is very talented. I wouldn't slap generational talent on him. I know a lot of people did. I don't think so, but
tell it how it is, bro. Tell me how you feel.
Like, I don't see it. But he is very talented. He is a very talented quarterback. He is a young quarterback, and you need someone that's going to develop him properly because and you need to bring someone in before it's too late, because another year with this guy, who knows what bad habits he picks up. Really, he has the most interceptions in the league. He has 14 right now, I think, something like that. Get Urban out of here to save Trevor Lawrence. That's the main thing.
People that say that, well, they went 2-4 after all that happened. They beat the Bills 9-6. That's cute and all.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything. You haven't done anything at all this season. You've won 2 games, period. Honestly, let's be real. We don't expect a first-year head coach, a rookie quarterback, to come out and go undefeated or win the division. Let's be real. But not only have they gone 2-10 or whatever the hell it is, but they've looked absolutely horrible going 2-10. And I'm talking about beyond horrible that you should look like. So at the end of the day, I'll continue to say it. The homie Urban got to go. The homie Urban got to go back to Ohio and chill out at his bar and just run it. Because he should not be anywhere football ever again. No. He should not be allowed to coach. No. And he should not be allowed to be back in a booth, bro.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to bring up stuff that I keep bringing up, okay? But you already know how and why I feel about this guy. You can look up our previous videos, Straight Bet Sports on YouTube. They're all over there.
In case people don't know, there's one more thing. It's something that happened today. Josh Lambo was a previous kicker of the Jaguars.
Kicker got kicked.
Exactly. He came out and said that during pre-game warm-ups in August, I think, during like the preseason, Urban actually kicked him. Like,
I'm not shocked, bro.
At this point, like, what are we talking about? Like,
bro, he doesn't know what to do anymore. He's got a cause of controversy.
I know. It's like, if he's not winning, I feel like he has to spur it up, because he feels like if he's at least in the headlines, his team won't be in the headlines, maybe, like, for how bad they're doing. I don't know what his problem is, but yeah, he has to go.
So I'm gonna end with this when it comes to the Urban Meyer thing. I know Khan brought this guy in thinking that it was gonna boost sales, bring people in, getting Trevor Lawrence. They're 30th in attendance in the league. So they've dropped way below what they were before, even though they were already bad, right? That's one. And the thing about Khan, he's been the owner here for the last 2 coaches. Last 2 coaches have been around 4 years each, right? One of them looked better than the other because Doug Marrone took them to the AFC Championship game, as the other didn't do much. But he gives these guys 4 years.
Yeah.
He lets them build. One, I agree with an owner like that, but not with Urban Meyer as your coach. So Khan... Get rid of this guy. Just get rid of him.
How did this guy get a job over Todd Bowles? That's the real question.
That's a conversation for another show. But let's just leave it at there. I hope he gets fired. I hope Jacksonville gets completely annihilated this week, and then they just say bye. It's not going to happen though. I commend him. I commend the owner. I commend Shad Khan for what he's doing, because I'm one of those guys that always says you gotta let guys develop. You gotta let guys go through growing pains. But not Urban Meyer. He doesn't deserve it. But sticking to the NFL, and I'll give you credit. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Ian has been setting up a lot of the topics and ideas and things that we talk about for the last couple of weeks, which has been a huge help for me, a huge help for the show. Again, I give credit where credit is due. I don't take credit for stuff that's not mine. So a lot of the topics that we do talk about, we talk about thanks to Ian. You know what I mean? Because he's bringing them up. He's hitting me up throughout the week. He's calling me at 6, 7 in the morning when he's getting off of work and we're already chopping it up because he knows I'm up that early. I add some things in there from time to time just to, mess with it and kind of just things that I want to talk about, but it's things that we want to talk about in general that are out there, right? But sticking to the NFL, there's 2 things that we want to talk about. One, briefly, is should taunting flags be in the NFL or should they be subject to a review? We had this conversation earlier this week. I hate the fact that you get a flag for taunting. I grew up playing football, basketball. I grew up playing all that when I was a kid. I never played professional sports, but I grew up sports as a kid, right? If you got a touchdown or you got an interception or a great tackle or you made a 3, as long as you weren't disrespecting someone's like you're an a-hole or your mom is this or blah, 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 blah. If you were just like, yeah, baby, what's up? And you get some of this and that was just the heat of the passion. It's normal. It's normal. So the fact that you're getting guys that are getting 15-yard penalties after a great play and it's hurting teams, or because someone's standing over a guy and going, I got you. That is ridiculous to me, bro. It should not be a flag whatsoever. And I agree with you. But how is it going to be subject to review? Because from what I know, the review, there is no audio, right? It's all just video based.
It's all video based right now. I mean, with the drones, maybe they can input some audio in there. But I agree. I don't know how they subject it to review. But let's just put it out. It is a completely subjective rule. And what I mean by that is, for instance, Joey Bosa, right?
Joey.
After a sack or a tackle for a loss.
Okay, so Quan just showed me, and Mike Davis, big shout out to Mike Davis, Vegas Nighthawks coach. He just texted me. He goes, Urban Meyer out at Jax. And then I look over to my left, and Quan showing me, Urban Meyer has been fired, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, you know what? I lost every bet today, and I feel better now. All the money I lost today, I felt like I just hit my 14-team, 13-team parlay.
Thank God, yes.
Dude, I don't even know if I want to talk about anything else now. I'm so happy right now. I'm just
that's amazing.
I can't believe it.
Shout out to Khan. That was that's great. That's great. You actually listen to the fan bases and the people in media and everyone.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding job. The fact that he's out prior to the year even finishing is amazing. Thank you so much. So, like, if you know me,
I don't wish bad upon anyone, right? So I'm going to say this so people don't think that I'm being negative or I'm a bad person. I don't wish bad upon Urban Meyer. Let me get that 100% correct. I hope he's healthy. I hope his family's healthy. I hope they're safe. I hope nothing bad happens to them. 100%.
Absolutely.
I'm not that type of person. I don't wish bad upon people. Even if you do me wrong. That's called
you're not
karma.
Vindictive.
God knows what he sees. God knows what happens. And I just let it be, right? But I hope that he never gets a job in anything sports related as long as he lives. He has businesses. I hope his businesses continue to thrive. I hope people continue to go to his restaurants and bars, even though I won't. But I hope that he is successful in some other ways in life. But when it comes to sports and what has made him a living, he doesn't deserve it anymore. And today is a great day for Jacksonville Jaguar fans. I feel like a Jacksonville fan today. I feel like I might go buy a jersey now for some reason.
Everyone's happy.
But he's out.
That's great.
He's out. It's good news. Great. We're happy. You know, we Shad Khan, we promote you. We appreciate you. We approve your message and your firing. So thank you so much for doing that. Now, going back to the taunting calls.
So, yes.
How do you feel about that?
So, like I was saying, it's completely subjective. One, it shouldn't be a 15-yard rule. That's obscene. Like,
man, Urban Meyer.
You have unnecessary. How is it the same amount of penalty yards as unnecessary roughness, horse collars? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Why a team should be able to get an automatic first down 15 yards off of pointing a finger into the stands or into the sidelines real quick. But not only that, it's subjective. Because like Joey Bosa illustrated it perfectly. After he got tackle for loss or is a sack, something like that. I forget exactly what it was. He backs up, goes over to kind of like the hash marks, right? And if you're a gamer, you know exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He straight up did the gesture for teabagging
Did
a
you
player.
just really say teabag?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Oh
It's
my
a very
God.
disrespectful
No, you didn't,
thing.
I can't
Yes.
believe you just said that.
Yes.
Oh my God. You're a
And
fool, bro.
you can watch it. He goes prone. It's a Call of Duty Halo thing if you're a gamer, but extremely disrespectful. They didn't call the flag because they had no idea what he was doing. It's subjective. It influences games in a very negative fashion, and it needs to get tossed. Like I have no problem if you're have an excessive taunting rule, like the guy standing over, pushing him back down, stuff like that. You're constantly in the face of another player. I get that, but flexing after you get a sack, come on now. Like, what are we doing? Like that these are grown men. They're allowed to have some fun.
I agree with you though, man. We got to move away from the topic, but I agree with you 100%. I'm still on this Urban Meyer. You know what? Tap in tonight. Straight Bet Sports Uncensored. We're going live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Check us out. If you want to do it, let's go. If not, I will be by myself. I don't care. I have a lot to say about this Urban Meyer thing. I'm sorry. It's still in my head, and I want to talk about it more, but we got more things that we need to talk about here on the show tonight. So tap in tonight. Straight Bet Sports Uncensored. I will be doing it live, but let's move on. But sticking to the NFL, but sticking here at home, right?
Yep.
Plans are already in place for Allegiant Stadium to host. Obviously, we know the 2022 Pro Bowl, which is going to be on February 6th.
Yep.
The 2022 NFL Draft on April 28th through the 30th. And now, 2024, we're going to have Super Bowl 58 in February, which is awesome. If you know what happened with New Orleans and them not being able to host it with the whole Mardi Gras thing and having to be pushed back and all that, it was perfect for the Raiders to slide in.
I thought that was already confirmed.
No,
though.
not yet. They have to put it to a vote, but it came out. It was a unanimous vote. It's going to happen. I think it's huge. I've been saying it for years. I'm not the only one. Obviously, everyone says it.
Yeah.
But Vegas is now, and it has been since the Knights got here, the sports and entertainment capital of the world.
It is.
People used to just call it the entertainment capital of the world because boxing and all the show. No, it is the sports and entertainment capital of the world. There is no other. We are becoming, and I'll give credit to Melissa Ferris from Girl Chat Sports. She said it earlier. It's becoming the sports mecca.
It is.
People want to come here to watch sporting events. Guys want to come here to play, whether you want to believe it or not. Primetime TV. The Sphere's almost done. We might have an NBA team. We got the Oakland A's talking about buying Tropicana's land.
I think the Oakland A's is very probable as well.
Which we'll talk about on another show as well. I got a guest lined up for that wrote an article that we want to talk about with him too. But great news for Vegas, right? Now, my thing is, how is it all going to be set up? I'm not saying that I'm worried. I think they'll do great. But it's going to be interesting to see. We already get a lot of people here during Super Bowl. Think about that, right? A lot of people come here that don't go to the Super Bowl because this is like if they go to the Super Bowl,
there's
they gamble
parties everywhere.
everything.
For the last 5 years, Mirage
casinos do parties for their high rollers. You know that you're a security guard at a casino, so you see it all the time.
I've worked these events, and it's already before the Super Bowl came here, before we got a stadium here. It's been a big deal here.
Yep.
So now that it's going to be here is huge. I didn't know that they had confirmed that I know the draft was supposed to be here last year, but I didn't know
because of what happened.
I didn't know that they confirmed it for 2022. That's awesome. So next year's draft is going to be here.
Correct.
Or okay, excellent.
No, yeah. So next year coming up, and next year in a month is going to be here. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, man, good stuff. I'm excited. We'll see how that goes. But again, if you guys do not know, Super Bowl will be here 2024, baby. But sticking to some football news. It's college, though.
You think they open up the lanai doors real quick for the
what?
Super Bowl? The lanai doors, the glass doors on the
That's going to be interesting.
Because they haven't yet.
But we'll see.
They haven't yet, and people have been asking for it.
Might be decent weather. We'll see. Yeah. But sticking to football news, like I said, because we got about 15 minutes here, but we still got to jump into some other things, a couple topics that you brought up too that I want to talk about. But I got to throw this in there. Deion Sanders, prime time, right? He flipped the number 2 overall college recruit, which I'm not surprised. The number 1 cornerback in the whole country. ESPN top 500 or 300, whatever it is. First time that they flip. The kid was committed to Florida State.
Yeah.
His name's Travis Hunter. Committed to Florida State and then flips on signing day and says, I'm going to Jackson State. Now, One thing that I wanted to pull up here that I talked to you about earlier, right?
Yep.
Some of the tweets, some of the stupidity that was thrown out there from some people that I saw, which it just shows you how some people think about certain things, right?
Yeah,
now,
very ignorant.
Now, one thing I will say,
were being made today.
I don't blame kids if they're going somewhere to make money, because the NIL deals are there now. They're there for a reason. So you cannot use that excuse anymore because they're not going there illegally taking money underneath the table.
Exactly.
Let's get that out of the way. But then you have stupidity like this that's thrown out there. And I won't say the guy's name because all that's going to do is give him a lot more notoriety on Twitter, and I'm not going to do that. But he says you need to stop with the BS. You pick Jackson State because of the money, not because it's an HBCU, and not because of the history or other players who played at them. Would you be there without the NIL money? Absolutely not. Let's not pretend it's about anything else. Now, I think that's just him trying to get some clicks, some likes. He got a couple likes, a couple retweets, and he sparked the conversation. He got 79 comments, right? And then, hold on. I'll let you get to that. But then you have someone that comes in and gives you a respectable comment, which makes sense. And this guy, I will give him credit. K King Tony, 1914 is his Twitter handle. Tony the Tiger. If any other minority players are reading these comments, and there's a lot on there, so go check it out. Yeah. It was posted on Travis Hunter's Twitter page when he committed. See what they are really thinking of you when you aren't using your skills with them. Yeah. You are more than their business agreement and money. They are scared of you all coming this route. They can't beat you.
Yep.
And if you know about HBC schools, Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, a lot of guys came from those schools, a lot of Hall of Famers in the NFL, right? I don't see anything wrong with it.
I don't either.
You said it. Primetime went from making Jackson State to a loser into an 11-1 and winning the championship. If he did go there because the NIL deal is bigger, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, we are not Travis Hunter, and we are not in his mind, and we don't know what he's thinking. If he did take it for the money, I don't care. But you know what? He flipped. He did something big, something different, not what everyone else wants you to do, and I like it. Take it away from the D1s, but now the pressure's on you, young man. You need to succeed. You're a cornerback, the best cornerback in high school in the nation. You're being coached by one of the best to do it ever. Exactly. There is no excuse. What are your thoughts on the flip?
Well, and I agree with you, especially with... So there's a little bit of truth in the statement. I don't know if he would have committed without the NIL deal. That is true. However, I don't think that's the contributing factor. And again, I agree with you. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, doesn't.
The main thing here, in my opinion, is not even that it's a HBCU school. It's not that he decommitted from Georgia to Jackson. I'm sorry, if I'm a young, talented player and I have the opportunity to go get coached by, like you said, one of the best to ever do it. This is a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing it. If I can get one-on-one with Deion Sanders, right? For what, 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is before you go to the draft, that is a huge bonus.
Yeah.
That is monumental experience that you wouldn't get at any other school that you go to. So I like the fact that the NIL contracts allow for players to go with, one, their heart, because I'm sure there's a ton of college players, prospects from the last years that have wanted to do something like this that couldn't because they needed to have the funds to go to school and needed to have that notoriety.
And that's why they couldn't go to the HBCU schools. There wasn't that much money.
Exactly.
Difference, yeah.
So the fact that they're able to go and get coached by Deion Sanders, they're able to go and follow the coaches that they actually want to get coached under, that they feel is going to help them develop as a player, I think is a great move for college. I think that going forward, it's going to help with a lot of things. You're going to see players getting developed a little bit better. You're also going to see more competitiveness. You're going to see a lot of these smaller schools end up being good schools because you're going to have higher level recruits going to these schools. So I think it's a awesome thing. I definitely commend Travis Hunter for doing it, and I think that it's great for the sport going forward.
So before we move on to the next topic, I got to give a big shout out to a friend of mine, friend of the show, friend of the studio, Goose Thomas, of Let the Ball Bounce. He's out at the Dominican Republic. Tapping in, he says, from the Dominican Republic. And I'm going to give his comment, the final chime here on this comment, on this conversation. I said this years ago. The money and cameras will follow the talent, bros. The Power 5 and other schools outside of HBCUs are terrified. I agree with you 100%.
Absolutely.
Factual, 100% there. But now, we got about 10 minutes here. We still got to get into our picks, and we still got to get into a few more things here. But Bryce Young, Alabama quarterback, becomes the first Alabama quarterback to win the Heisman, which is crazy to believe that because so many guys that have been there that have won national championships with Nick Saban and just have been there in general that have succeeded. It's crazy to think that. But I just want to give my thoughts on Bryce Young. Because you asked me, and it's on the notes that you wrote here, do we believe that he can do it back to back? I do.
I do too.
I've said it the last couple weeks, and I've said it over and over again. I think he is the best Alabama quarterback I have ever seen play at that school since I've been watching Alabama, like that. And since Nick Saban has been there. I honestly think this is the best quarterback he's ever had. I think we talk about Matty Ice. This guy is ice water. He has ice water in his veins. The way he throws the ball, his poise, his confidence, even when he makes a mistake, it's as if he never made the mistake, which I love. He has the shortest term memory I've ever seen in a quarterback. It's like interception,
in college,
what?
Absolutely,
fumble, what? Incomplete pass, what? I overthrew the guy, what? It's quick.
Yeah.
It's like it never happened. On to the next play, and he's still so young, bro.
He is.
That's why it's scary.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this right now, and I've never said this about an Alabama quarterback. He is going to succeed. When he gets to the NFL, he will be the next level quarterback. And I honestly believe that he can be the guy to come back to back and win it.
I do too. First of all, for anyone that doesn't know, nobody's done it except for Archie Griffin back in 1956. So it's been a very long time since anyone's won back-to-back Heismans.
Yep.
I think he can. You know me. I've been super high on Bryce Young. Like he is the guy. He will be the guy. He is going to make a franchise very, very happy when he's eligible. And I think one more year, you're just going to see better and better things from him. And not to mention, he might have a better argument next year because Mechie's going into the draft. There's a possibility Williams is going in the draft. He might not have the two receivers that he falls on right now, but it's Alabama. It's Alabama. You never know. Their recruiting is amazing, so they might have 3 top wide receivers in the country next year. So either way, I think he is set up in a very good situation to win it back to back.
So before we move on, just the yes or no question. Yes or no question.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, hit me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is this the weakest QB class in a draft that you've seen in a while coming up this year? No? Okay. That's all I want to know.
Real quick,
hold
2017.
On. No. See why you got to kill it. We're going to hold it for another show. But still, we'll get deeper into it for another show. But we got about 7 minutes here on the show, so we can get into our picks. But before we do that, Demaryius Thomas, man, when I heard about the news, that was crazy. I mean, obviously never met the guy. Don't know him personally like that. But if you're a fan of football, you're a fan of the sport, then obviously you know what this guy did. I mean, the Tim Tebow pass, which is one of the things that, even though he didn't win a Super Bowl that year or anything, it's one of those things that's embedded in my brain that I'll never forget because it was Tim Tebow, because the way that the play was. It was in overtime against the Steelers. Just crazy the way it was, and he was a part of that moment. If you're a Denver Bronco fan, that's a moment you're never going to forget, right?
Yep.
He was great when Peyton Manning was there.
Yeah,
the guy won the Super Bowl. I mean, like he was a staple in the Denver Broncos organization, and the fact that he was only 33, 34 years old, and he's gone is crazy. Thoughts and prayers to him, his whole family. I know he's watching from up above now, and everything that the Denver Broncos players did on Sunday, man, was just awesome. If you guys didn't watch it, watch the highlights of the game. A lot of memorable stuff, real nice from Denver. Your thoughts on the whole situation?
I thought it was a nice settlement that both the Lions and Broncos did the very first play of the game.
Yes.
They held out their X receiver.
11 men on the
they
field,
put
right? 10 men on the field,
10 men on the field. They drew the delay of game penalty, of course, and then Lions declined it,
classy.
Which was very classy. I thought that was a great little settlement that they did. Demaryius Thomas, I mean, the guy's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He had an outstanding career. It was unfortunately cut short. He started dealing with injuries late in his career, as well as 2019 he had a really bad accident. people don't know. They're saying that actually contributed to the seizures that I believe is the cause of death. But 33, he's only, I think, 3 years removed from the NFL. Definitely a travesty. And yeah,
insane, bro.
And our thoughts and prayers out to Demaryius Thomas's family, as well as the Broncos organization.
So look, man, I'm gonna throw this out there. I know some people will probably be like, nah, now you're just saying it because he passed away, whatever. The guy played 8 years, right? Because if we count the Texans, the Patriots, and the Jets season, not really much, right? 2 of those were in the same season. One of them was away from Denver. So you take the 8 years that he played in Denver. Super Bowl champ, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 724 receptions, almost 1,000 yards, 63 touchdowns. I'd say they probably give him a look for the Hall of Fame. Probably not right away.
Maybe.
But I think
second and third down.
I'm going to say a little later than that. But I think he'll get a look. I think he'll get a look. But we'll leave it at that, man. R.I.P. Demaryius Thomas, man. Crazy, man. You never know. You could go at any time. It's not just, you got to take care of yourself, bro. Anything can happen at any given time in your life, man. So just hug your loved ones. Give them a kiss. Give them a phone call, man. Don't hold grudges. If you don't talk to someone, man, just call them up. Hit them up. Even if you never want to talk to them again, just call them up to make sure that they're straight. That's it, man. That's all I got to say about that. But let's move into our picks of the week.
All right. What's your record,
I lost
Jose?
by a hook last week, and Ian made sure I didn't forget about it because he was texting me during the game. He's like, are these guys going to cover? And I had the Browns minus 2.5, and they won by 2. But anyways, I'll let you go first tonight, Ian. What do you like? Who do you got?
All right.
Don't worry about the season totals. We're almost towards the end of the season, so we'll talk about that. What do you like tonight? Tomorrow?
My favorite this week is actually Rams minus 4.5 against the Seahawks. I don't think anything on their defense shouts that they're going to be able to stop them. The Rams seem to be putting it together finally. I think Rams are in a situation where they understand these are must-win games if they want that number 1 seed. They don't want to play Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau right now. They currently have the number 1 seed. It's going to be a battle. There's 3 teams that are 10-3 right now. You have to win out these games, and I definitely think Rams put on display on Sunday.
All right. Before I give you my pick of the week, we already know who you got. You think the Rams are going to cover. We got to let you know who our final sponsor is here. Eric Navarro of Line 'em Up by Eric. Big shout out to the homie. 702-884-8138 on IG at Line 'em Up by Eric. Hit him up. Holiday season, people. Hit him up. If you want to get your cut, your beard, your trim, whatever it is that you need, trust me, Eric is the guy. He was over my house this past weekend. We were watching the UFC fights, man. Big shout out to Juliana Pena, plus 650 underdog against Emmanuel Nunez. I was trying to bet her. Didn't get the bet in time, so it doesn't matter. But big shout out to her. Charles Oliveira pulls through as a plus 120 underdog, and he wins outright, retains his belts. A lot of fun action that night. Cody Garbrandt loses again. The guy just can't get it together. I'm a big fan of Cody. But I think it might be time for him to hit the booth and start doing some announcing because looks like the fighting game ain't working for him anymore. But jumping into my pick of the week, I'm going to do Thursday. I haven't done Thursday in a while. Okay. We have 2 teams that are hot right now. Right?
Yeah, very
the
hot.
Chargers are playing decent right now, right? Even though I know they lost to Denver a few weeks ago, but they beat Cincinnati on the road. They murdered the Giants like they should. They beat Pittsburgh. They're looking good right now, right?
Yeah.
And you're playing a division opponent.
Yep.
You have a team in Kansas City that just annihilated and embarrassed the Raiders, a Raider team that literally threw in the towel and gave up and said, I'm out, I'm done, I tap out, I do not want to play this game anymore, which was a sad, sad thing to watch if you're a Raider fan. I'm sorry. Yeah, I saw a lot of Raider fans that even said it on social media. They threw in the towel. Yeah. But sticking to this division, right, on this part of the AFC, Duane said he likes Kansas City, right? I'm going against him. I don't understand how this line is only 3, which shows you that they're showing a lot of respect to the Chargers. 75% of the money is on Kansas City right now, currently on a Wednesday night. Give me the Chargers plus the 3 points.
I like it.
I think they win outright. I think they beat Kansas City. I still like Kansas City, though. I still think that they're going to be in the mix there to possibly make the AFC Championship game, if not even the Super Bowl. So my pick of the week, I'm going early. We're doing it tomorrow. We're not waiting until Sunday or Monday. Give me the Chargers plus the 3 points at home.
Is Keenan Allen back yet? I know he is on the reserve list.
For those of you fantasy people, D-Hop is out for the rest of the year. So make sure you pick up a receiver if you need
really?
one. Yep, they're keeping him out for the rest of the year. He might come back in the playoffs, they said, but he's out for the remainder of the regular
injury?
season.
You know?
I didn't read all into that. Just got the notification on my phone. I know because I have him on my team, so I took him off right away just to make sure.
That's huge. That's huge.
But Ian, final thought of the night, man, before we go.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We need to get a little bit better of Instagram and Twitter. We will be doing the uncensored. I don't know if I'm going to be able to join you. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Figure it out.
Definitely throughout the week, we like to talk sports. We like to chop it up. So make sure you follow us, sign up, subscribe, all of the above. Tune in every week because we're going to be here. So
tune in, folks. Tune in. Well, we appreciate each and every one of you. I got to give a big shout out. I'm talking about the biggest shout out I've ever given to anybody on this show. Shad Khan, baby. Shad Khan with the news of the year already, and the year is almost over. I love it. Big shout out to you for making the move that you had to make. My final thought of the night here before I get to my final thought, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been following us. The year is almost over, man. We greatly appreciate all the love, all the support. Thank you so much to everyone that's a part of the show. Quan, thank you so much for doing what you do for us every single week. But my final thought of the night is, does Daddy Dana have some competition? And what I mean by that, does Dana White have some competition? Khabib Nurmagomedov, if I said the name right, posted recently, just call me. I'm going to sign Dustin Poirier in Eagle FC at 165 pounds. If you don't know what Eagle FC is, that's his new league that he has, his new corporation where he's got fighting people that are fighting. He says that the UFC release him, Khabib here always with Eagle FC. Let's go, Dustin. Just call me. Dana, you got to start paying your fighters, or what's going on here? I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know the back behind of the business. But if one of your ex-fighters and one of the best to ever do it in your sport is trying to lure away someone like Dustin Poirier, what's next? For Jose V, EMB, Quan59, Gorilla Cross Radio, Straight Bet Sports, thank you so much to our sponsor, Josh LaFon, Eric Navarro, our guest, Duane Colucci from Rampart Racing Sportsbook. To everyone chiming in, we'll see you next week. Same time, same bad channel. Peace.